If there are people watching who don't know who Kyle Walker is, he's a footballer in the English Premier League. He's an English footballer, really good, like one of my favourites. So you can go on YouTube and check out some of his videos if you want. If it's your first time on this channel, consider subscribing. This is a new channel all about hair transplants, giving you solid information based on research. Also visit my website, myhairimplants.com. My name is Jabril. What I thought would be cool is just to look at some pictures and see if we can make our own mind up, given that there's hardly any evidence online. So this is a picture of him obviously when he was younger. He's got like a full head of hair, no problems. So this is an old picture just to set the standards. Move on to the next picture. This is from about 2017, so this is about 3 years ago, and you can't really see any obvious thinning or anything like that, but if you look carefully, there's a little bit of thinning. That area is a little bit more kind of beigey color than the rest of his scalp, so obviously he's thinning, that's not disputed, but this is not so obvious that you would notice it straight away. It's something that you kind of see when you look really hard. I believe this picture is from 2019, so this is a couple of years after the last picture, and in this picture he just looks like somebody who's just had a fresh haircut. There's nothing obvious to tell from this angle that he's receding or balding. You can see the outline of the hair. It just looks like he's had a fresh haircut. This is, I believe, the same match, and on this side we can see the right side, there's nothing here. I mean, this looks like a fresh haircut, but you can see he's like thinning on top, so that's not disputed. There's a bit of thinning on top just like we saw in the first picture, so no changes. It doesn't seem that much has changed from 2017 to 2019. This picture I believe is from 2020, so maybe late 2019 to early 2020, and again it just looks like a really nice haircut. It doesn't look like anything is thinning, or he's losing hair dramatically at the front. I mean, there's probably a bit of thinning because the hair looks a little bit patchy in places, but there's nothing obvious that says, oh, he's receding badly. Yeah, but this is only from the angle that we can see from the front. It's another picture from a similar period, so kind of early 2020, maybe late 2019, and again it just looks like a nice fresh haircut. There's no obvious thinning from the front, but I don't think he's had any issues with the front anyway. And this is the picture that really shows, this is the clearest picture that I got from online from another website that shows the extent of his thinning, and it looks like a screen grab from an actual match, like a television match. You can see there's clear thinning on top, quite extensive, so maybe this is why he's having these fresh haircuts, just to keep this less visible. So he's got every reason to go for a hair transplant, and definitely got the motive, but this doesn't obviously prove that he's had a hair transplant. It just proves that he has extensive hair loss, especially on top, and he's got the reason to go and have a hair transplant. I found this picture really interesting because he's got his hair dyed blonde. This picture I believe is from 2019, so it's about a year old, and you can see he's got decent hair when you look at it. Your first impression is this guy has got no problems with hair loss, but obviously there's a little bit of recession on the side. We can't see the top of the hair, or the top of the scalp, but it's quite interesting he chose to dye it blonde because from my knowledge, from what I've read, dyeing your hair blonde tends to disguise any baldness or any hair thinning quite well, because then everything just blends together. So it's a color of choice for people who are trying to hide hair thinning. But I mean, to be honest, we know that he's got hair thinning, so I don't think he really needs to hide it. But this picture definitely shows that if he grows his hair in a certain way to a certain length, and he dyes it kind of this color, then to be honest, you wouldn't even know that he's got any recession or any thinning. But again, we can't see the top, so we can't make a full decision. So in conclusion, there's no evidence that Kyle has had a hair transplant. If he's had it, he's definitely managed to hide it very well, but I don't think he's had it. Just had really good haircuts, that's all. But personally, I think his hair is thinning, especially on top, and that he should think about hair transplant. He can definitely afford it. He's a millionaire footballer, so he should really think about it if that's his wish. But some people are not bothered by their hair loss, and they just have decent short haircuts, and they're happy to move on with their lives. So who knows?